You and Colin Crozier broke a bombshell story really this morning online. What can you tell us about what you found?
Well, let me read you the first two paragraphs, as it's quite simply the story. A First Nations child welfare agency paid to protect vulnerable children has been directly involved in the sexual abuse of children in its care. From workers sexually abusing children to caregivers being charged for doing it, the history of Weechi-it-te-win Family Services is steeped in stories of abuse going back at least 27 years. Weechi is a child welfare agency in Treaty 3 based out of Fort Francis. And there's about 3,000 more words after that that detail all the abuse over the years.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, this is an agency you have been investigating for years. So how has the story sort of unfolded as you've been doing it?
It started looking into the death of a young girl who I talk about here, Sasha Raven Bob. But in the end of that investigation, I started hearing the stories of sexual abuse. I started seeing, finding the abusers, finding the perpetrators. And it's taken me 2 years, partly to get the will to do it, to find the documents and tell the story, and we finally have.
So Kenneth, what has the reaction been like so far from this?
A lot of thank yous, a lot of finally, a lot of, oh my God, it's finally on paper. Everyone can see it. There's people calling me I've never heard from before. I didn't even know they existed. But I know the one thing, for every abuser and every victim we've identified being abused in here, there's at least 10 more. There is many more out there who I haven't been able to get to yet.
Wow, that's something else there. Now you and Colin Crozier also have an episode airing tonight on APTN Investigates. How does the episode airing tonight relate to what you just talked about?
See, TV is a bit of a different game. It's harder. This is always more of a written story, more of a podcast story in terms of what we did. So we did the written version of it. The TV version tonight, it touches on some of the people, some of the workers that were convicted of abusing children in care, but it also looks at the family aspect, children that were abused in the home, only to go in care and be abused and then abused later in life. It kind of looks at all the layers of abuse in Treaty 3, from human trafficking to those, we confront the man accused of doing it. We kind of give you a layered approach of what is going on. So it's a bit of a more of an overview, whereas this story online people can go see is more of a focused, pinpoint Weechi-it-te-win story.
And what's next for you and Colin now, Kenneth?
Identifying more people, identifying more abusers, putting the stories on the record and letting everyone know that it might have been a buried truth, it might have been a buried poison, but we're going to unearth it. Because that's the only way out of this for people. And that's what everyone keeps telling me. Can I just unearth this? People need to talk about this. If abusers, not just abusers, but victims need to speak out and feel like someone's going to believe them. I want to give them the opportunity to know that, that we believe them and that we're going to do their stories and that finally someone's going to hear them.
Well, we'll have to leave it right there, Kenneth. Thanks for taking a few minutes. And again, your work is simply fantastic. So thank you very much.
Right on. Thanks, Darryl.